Good morning and happy Monday, everybody. I hope everyone has had a productive start to their day. And if it's not in your calendar, please come back at 12:30 and join me for live prospecting. We had an incredible conversation this morning that I'm excited to share with all of you at 12:30. And one of the themes is I want to share before we get into marketing the listings is get more out of me. Essentially, a lot of the things that we learn on a micro level, especially I do through one-on-one coaching, it's not something that everyone wants to invest in or not even something everyone wants or needs, but we take those specific things and then bring them to everybody. So if we're sitting there in live prospecting for 30 minutes, it's your opportunity to literally ask me anything about any situation. And I know what holds people back is, what are people going to think? What are they going to say? What do I write? What do I do? What if they respond to this? What about this unique situation? I am there to help you. So put me to work. There should be no time in these sessions that I'm just sitting there. And we ended up spilling like, I think, 10 minutes over because people had all these different questions. So let's get into marketing a listing. Now, there's a saying, teach a man how to give a man a fish he could eat once, teach a man how to fish he could eat for a lifetime. So today I want to teach you how to fish. Right. So when you think about marketing a listing, a couple of you unmute yourself and tell me what the first few thoughts that come to your mind is. And don't all rush to do this at once, please.
I'm sorry, you asked marketing a listing? What
Yeah, when you think about that, what do you think?
Well, I'm thinking, Instagram posts, beautiful brochures, photographs, elevator photographs, staging.
You're thinking about all the different things you need to do.
Right, all the things, like a list that you have or that we have for our listings, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Lena. Anybody else?
Hi, Chirag. It's Lorraine.
Hey, Lorraine.
Hey, San Francisco area. I'm thinking about the fact that this should be a repeatable, predictable process that we're really comfortable with.
Right.
And that we have people helping us, because as I'm getting ready to prepare a listing this week, and how many things can I delegate? Ordering the food for the broker tour, having my marketing person come shoot a reel, So anyhow, just get the system down. So this is something I'm super comfortable and excited about, and when I'm presenting it.
Perfect. There's a word I was looking for. You know what the word is? Launch. This is a launch. Think about people that have products that have go-to-market strategies, right? So a lot of marketing is packaging, promotion, communication, right? So I would say to Lorraine, if we're talking about marketing and choose my client, I'm like, hey, would it be okay, right? Write those words down over and over again. Would it be okay? Remember, as you're seeding this in to the conversation, you're allowing the other person to feel as if they're in control. And the best thing that could happen is, actually, no, I read your plan. Would it be okay if I went through with you our go-to-market launch strategy for your home? Write those words down. Go-to-market launch strategy for your home. If they work at a big brand, they're going to be like, oh, wow, they have a go-to-market strategy. It's the same thing, but you're just packaging it in a different way.
To sell your home. Okay.
Yeah. Go-to-market. Because that's essentially what it is, right? And look, at some point, someone's actually going to read this stuff you send them. Shocker, right? Because there are people that actually do that. And we say, you know what, Lorraine? You know what, Lena? I actually read all your stuff. I'm good. I love your marketing strategy. Perfect. So in your emails, you'll want to write, I attached our go-to-market strategy for the launch of your home. Now, if you think about a go-to-market strategy, I don't know, who was here when Compass Coming Soon came out? Anybody? Was the Compass then?
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if a lot of people know this, but they interviewed Robert one time. They asked him at a retreat, Robert, if you weren't the CEO of Compass and you could do any job in the world, do you know what it would be? I think the answer to many of you would shock you. He goes, I would love to make movie trailers. That was his thing. He's like, it's so exciting. He says, you get to capture all the best moments and everything else. So when Coming Soon came, that was the analogy he used, When Coming Soon comes, they create these previews or essentially coming soon of the market that highlights all of these different things to build a line of interest. Every major box office or movie producer does this for their movies, correct? You see the billboards, you see the information, you see the stuff, right? It works really well. And Jen just wrote, I use the movie trailer analogy in every pitch. You want to know why? That's framing the conversation. It's associating what you're going to tell them you're doing to something they already know, believe is successful, right? So when we think about go-to-market strategies, the first one is your pre-launch marketing plan. And now, obviously, this is different for an actual listing and a private exclusive. A private exclusive is an anomaly. It's different than everything else, but we'll go through a regular listing. I'll touch upon private exclusive shortly after, because depending on your market, you have all different kinds of rules and guidelines and everything else like that. So here's the ultimate stack for Compass marketing. Coming soon, plus digital ads, plus insights reports.
What was the third one?
So what's insights reports?
Oh. Yeah.
So when I think about marketing, right, I want to know that my agent has a robust strategy to bring my house to the market. You ever hear of like the 3 Ps, like put it on the MLS, put out a sign and pray that it sells, the traditional brokerage approach?
Yeah.
So like even when you're competing against other people that have the same tools, like it's the way that you talk about it, right? Everyone at Compass has the same tools. Certain people just know how to use them differently. Everyone in the world is the same 24 hours. Some people know how to use them more effectively. It's the same exact thing. Is everybody with me? Now, the first thing in marketing a listing is creating the story of their home. So I'd say Lorraine and Lena, you two are partners today. I would say the first thing in marketing anything is effectively creating the story you want to tell of your home. And ultimately, this is how we position your home on the market. I see Cherish here. She's writing down all these words as these are the frames to the conversation.
I know. I have a listing of
Don't worry. We on our project list is going back and getting all of these things and, making an actual script book out of all of this. So you asked, we listen. This is why we like your feedback. So that's the first thing I'm going to want to tell. And now this is a very different way on influencing somebody to get them to clear out all of their stuff. Like, what story do you want to tell of your home? And how do you want to position it on the market? So part of marketing is understanding how they want to maximize the equity of their home. Because this is how you know what to do in creating the story. What is really creating the story? Decluttering, staging, minor cosmetics, AKA Compass Concierge, right? But guess what? Not everybody wants to do all this stuff. Shocker, right? How many people have been met with resistance in doing this? So here's the sentences, or here's what you say to them. I would say, when it comes to telling a home story and positioning a home on the market, there are 2 schools of thought. I want to understand which one works best for you so we could make a curated plan based on that. I'm on a roll today with scripts.
God, I love it.
Feeling really good. And if someone asks me, where do you come up with this stuff? My answer would be divine intervention. I don't know. There's no logical explanation for it. Just something I'm really passionate about helping people get what's best for them, right? So when you ask them, the first scenario is, in most markets around the country, over the past, 4 years, homes have appreciated more than most people have ever imagined. So there's a school of thought of people that said, look, Chirag, My house has appreciated, and I honestly never thought it'd be this much. So the equity I can get out of it, I'm more than happy with. So I'm just looking for something simple to do that's not like a major overhaul that causes me to have to go through like construction and things like that, or making many changes to my house. That's one school of thought. The second school of thought says, my home is my most valuable asset. I'd be interested to know the different ways and things I'd have to do to ultimately maximize every potential dollar of equity I have, as this is something I'm going to have to live off of, retire off of, take advantage of. Which school of thought do you align most with? And they're going to tell you. Now, this is to be very clear. This is not a list I'm going to make for you, but this is a list based on how you work that you should make on your own. You should make maximize equity in current state, maximize equity in future state. And they're going to say, excuse me, present state and future state. They're going to be like, whoa, what's present state and future state? All this stuff sounds fancy, right? But present state and future state is how people actually do like corporate executive planning. So I would give a list of their minimal things to do. And then I would give a thing of like the maximum things to do, right? Like cosmetic upgrades, painting, decluttering, staging, landscaping. You know, you could just rip off like a Compass Concierge flyer. And the current stage would be minimum like decluttering and just those things that they have to do, right? And then at least now you've given a prescriptive direction on where to go. Okay, is everybody with me so far?
Mm-hmm.
Now, hit yes or no in the chat. Does this sound like a much more collaborative, productive process for working with people when it comes to marketing? And is it different? This is very different. By the way, this says that I'm a luxury experience provider. This is not like some pie in the sky that I'm going to show up into Dahlia's home and says, this is what you're going to do. We're not dictators telling people how to live, what to do, and everything else. You walk into a house of a family that has like 2 or 3 small kids, dogs, these and jobs, like, you know, a dual working household. These people are just trying to figure out how to get through the day. Who here has to work and has small kids? It's like an episode of Survivor each day. It's like, how do I get through all of this stuff, right? And even if you don't, you're still trying to figure out how to get through your stuff. I always say everyone lives the same lives, just in different zip codes and different addresses based on where you are in life. It's all very similar. But you have to give people the choice of what they want to do and then provide them the experience they have. Now, if any of you pitch against anyone, Mary Murphy, one of our great longtime clients, was on the last call. And she was talking about on a $2.5 million listing competing against like a local specialized broker. And she won because she did the Med C. And, you know, the funniest thing that she shared was like, well, what are your expectations? Well, the other agent said their expectations were 5%. And they're like, she's like, no. What are your expectations of me if we're partnering and selling your home together? And they're like, oh, no one ever asked me that. In that whole 2 schools of thought on maximizing your equity, you will win people just on that line. Because you know what that says? I care about you. The feeling of being cared for, somebody trusting you, being in rapport, is a feeling created through interactions and engagements. Great questions create that feeling in people. Are we all on the same page?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the next thing you do is you can actually make like your work list, right? And don't make the work list till they hire you. Say, great, now that we've aligned on this, when we work together, right? It's called planting the seed of the sale, assumptive closes, right? Mm-hmm. When we work together, we'll have a meeting and curate a specific plan that aligns with a calendar that we can collaborate that works for you. So now they're going to tell me what they want, right? Then I'm going to say, great. So we'll build out a plan. The next thing is capturing the visual story through pictures and video, right? So you're going to say, when this list is completed, we'll coordinate a time for a photographer and videographer to come by here. Now, doesn't this sound a lot simpler than like, because you got to remember, there's only so much stuff you could tell somebody in one thing.
Yeah.
We all can get overwhelmed with the amount of information I gave you for 30 minutes. And this is about a job that you do every day. These people don't sell their house every day, right? So don't overwhelm them. They need to understand what they're buying, right? I said this to Amy on the last call. If you asked 100 people that sold their home, do you understand exactly what your agent did for the compensation they paid you? How many people do you actually would say yes? Not many, if any. But in this model that we're talking about, if somebody says, do you understand what your agent did to market your home in exchange for the compensation they received to get you the highest and best price? The answer would be yes. Because you framed it with having a go-to-market launch strategy, and now you're going through the steps of launching their home, correct? So then you're going to go through, they're going to pick the list and everything else, and then you can align on what they want to do. You can schedule the photo, the video, and the next thing you're going to talk about is we're going to create a coming soon for your listing, and that's when you use the movie trailer. You know, when they launch Avengers, does Marvel just stick it out in the box office? Or do they do a movie trailer coming soon? They drive advertising to it based on reviewing the ads. They make specific adjustments in their way of bringing a movie to the market. Well, we're going to do the same thing for your home. Would it be okay if I explain to you how that works? Now, we're going to write this down. We're going to run a digital advertising campaign for your home across Facebook, Instagram, and Google. And by the way, this is where you can use our Compass Tech video. Did you have a chance to review the benefits of Compass technology that I sent you? No, I haven't. Okay, great. Can I play it for you really quickly? You show them a 60-second video. It makes sense of what they do, right? Now you're going to say, essentially, we're going to run a digital advertising campaign across the 3 most trafficked platforms that we believe a potential buyer could be looking for your home. We're going to measure the results on a proprietary insights report. We're going to be looking at the amount of people who viewed your ad. That's essentially, it'll show up as clicks, but that's every click is an online showing. We can measure the time that they spent on your listing, exactly what a buyer is doing when they're viewing your home, down to tracking where their location is, all the way to what device they log on, so that we can more intuitively market your home when it goes to market. Do you have any questions about that? And then I'd ask them my anchoring question. Do you think in doing this and getting potentially hundreds, if not thousands of people to view your home online, that this would get you the best price for your home? Yes. Do you think if we eliminated this altogether that we'd get to the same outcome? Most people are going to say no. And then you're going to get the skeptical people that I'm going to say, well, I'm really not sure. And I'm going to say, okay, great. If you're marketing and advertising a product, if thousands of people viewed it before it even went on the market, do you think that's more beneficial or less beneficial? It's more beneficial. Okay, great. So now you've gone through the whole coming soon period. And then you're going to say, now that we've done this, I would schedule another meeting to go through all this stuff. By the way, all these meetings are customer service. And when you're doing all this stuff, you can spend 30 minutes, Chelsea, with somebody instead of having them call you 100 different times. They have no idea what's going on. This is why building all this stuff into a Google Calendar is really important for them. Think about it. You go to a trip planner, right? Like to plan like a vacation. They make you a whole itinerary and all these other things. I said to my travel planner the other day, I said, you know, it'd be really nice. She goes, what? I go, if you started building these things into Google Calendars with all the information that people need for your clients, and then every people shared unique client. How many travel agents do that? She was like, you're a genius. I said, no, I just want a better experience and everyone else could benefit from this too. And by the way, when you're competing against a service, like travel planners don't charge, they make their money on the back end, right? When they book through hotels and everything else. This is a luxury client experience. You already have like an interactive doc where I can put comments and everything else. You just need to know how to package, promote, and bundle your services so people understand what they're paying for and why it's different. So she's going to make us a calendar for when we take our trip this summer. I'm like, wonderful. Now all these people can get better experiences. Now you're bringing your home to market, right? So you can talk about the various medians. Don't talk about it, put it on 9 million websites, right? Like that's some borderline irrelevant. You're going to start talking about the open house, right? Inviting the neighbors for like an exclusive neighbor preview, a catered broker open house, any kind of digital advertising campaign. And you could show them on this and say, how much detail would you like for each? It's important for us, Cherish, to be in alignment with what we're doing because partners go this way together. I don't want to be a person that's hired to provide your service. I want to be your partner so you know what's going on. We've made the decision together and it's been fully communicated in advance, right? You know what's going on. We've fully communicated it together and that you know in advance what's going on. Those might be my my 3 new favorite things. Dahlia, you've used this word convince many times. We can't convince anyone to do anything. You can influence a person by setting up the conversation in a way that makes sense to them. So let me read the rest of your thing. How do I convince my clients to have an open house without an appointment? Well, I would ask them when it comes to, well, look, I hope you feel better, first and foremost. And thank you still for being here, true commitment. Look, I would ask them, I'm like, there are 2 schools of thoughts for open houses. Some people prefer appointments, which can be more controlled and scheduled, which I could see a direct benefit for. But the disadvantage is there's less traffic. Then there's a public open house that we could fully market. You could share how you'd market it. And that creates more traffic. Which one works best for you? Everyone should check out Mike's reel. I haven't checked it out, but Mike's a ninja, so I'm assuming it's good. The Compass Tech video, your AEMs, Mary, are not going to have the tech videos as if this is something that we made for our clients. So if you go on our platform, type in Compass Tech video, it'll be there. I could send our team a note right now quickly just to add this to the recording. Hold on. Can you add? Okay, done. So look, we have marketing calendars, right? So a marketing calendar is a written go-to-market launch plan. All right, now I wanted to leave time in the end for Q&A. Going to market is really simple. It is a go-to-market launch strategy. Do you see how I just looped all of these things together in like 22 minutes? Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, hallucinations, fears, doubts, worries,
Good morning.
expectations that were met. Hey, Farouz, how are you?
Overwhelmed.
Thank you. How are you?
Why are you overwhelmed?
Great. Was there someone else before me?
Nope, go first.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to be listing a property coming on the market, and we are staging and taking photos. And I've had broker price opinion few in my team who came and visit, and their price opinion is about 1.8, and now all the stats that I do is like 1.9 something. And this is a state sale. Their parents lived there for 60 years. Beautiful, a very historic home in Boulder. And I'm wondering, how do I convince them to come lower versus the high, knowing the market that we have right now on the higher end of the...
I would watch the pricing videos. So just understand this. As soon as you in your mind have the word convince, it's not collaborative.
Okay.
Like, you don't want to be convinced to do something. You should want to do it on your own. So the question is, how do I present them the facts in a way that would influence them to make that decision on their own?
Okay, great. I like that.
Right. So so some questions that you would ask them. What will happen for you if you're able to sell at 1.9? What will not happen for you if you sell at 1.8? And if you're not able to get 1.8, what's your plan B? And I always start that when they want to go to the higher end. Like, so if I hear you correctly, Firuz, you feel that since we have the best marketing, that we're going to be able to really maximize your equity and potentially set a record in the neighborhood. Great. So let me ask you another question. What will happen if you're able to sell it at this price? It's going to be really exciting. I'm going to tell you about it. Like, what's your plan B if you're not able to sell at this price? And we have to start, and just start with that, right?
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Hi, it's Abby. I have a question.
Hey, Abby, how are you?
Good. Okay, I've always wondered this, regarding the insights report. And when we're talking to clients, tell them, you know, the clicks, the onlines, how long they spend, and then they will adjust to go after your targeted market. I don't understand that. Like, in other words, how does the AI work that's going after?
No, this is nothing to do. So you can then sit down with your market advisor and say, hey, I'd love to run an advertising campaign based on my insights reports in these areas. Like, through social platforms, you could target people in certain areas.
Right, but when we're introducing, okay, I'm going to do a digital ad campaign for you. We're going on Facebook, Google, Instagram, the highest trafficked markets, okay? And then we're going to know how long people are spending and what platforms they're using, and then we will adjust. Is that me adjusting, or does that happen? How does
No,
that?
you have to adjust.
Oh,
Then
okay.
we'll take the data and then effectively remarket it. Well, someone will say, well, what are you going to do with the data? One, we're going to update the targets of our ads. Two, we also know that more than 90% of properties are co-broke. So we're going to look to market also to agents in this marketplace that could potentially have a home for your buyer. And you can use the network tool or agent finder to find agents that might work in those specific zip codes and send them email marketing.
Thank you.
That'd be cool if the AI automatically did that.
Yeah, it would.
All right. Last chance for a final question. All right. Was this helpful for everybody today?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go back to this over and over again. The tactics are the least important thing in this entire thing. Mindset, the ability to think through it differently. Performance, the art of getting things done, right? And then the tactics are actually doing it. But if you don't practice this stuff, this is arguably the most important part of your pitch you're going to have to do forever. At some point, we all have to accept that we're going to have to sit in a room and do a bunch of stuff that we don't like. You don't ever have to feel like doing it. And the sooner you accept that, the better off you'll all be. Nobody feels like doing everything. For God's sake, some people don't even feel like brushing their teeth every day or taking a shower, but they still do it. It's an essential thing that you need to do.
Can I ask you a quick question, Chuck?
Maybe, yep, go ahead.
That tech video, would you ever recommend putting that like in an email to likely to sell prospects?
No, because they don't even know why you're marketing them. It's like likely to sell is like, it's like lead nurturing, right? You have to lead likely to sell with data, information, and value. And I would just send them overall like macro market statistics, right? Like Rory sends out the Compass National Insights Report. Like you could take one part of that report, share something with your perspective on it, and says, if you'd ever like a more personalized approach to your specific home, I'm always happy to provide complimentary equity analysis. Don't hard sell anybody.
Yeah.
You like us because we might send a lot of emails, but we don't hard call pressure salespeople.
The more personalized, blah, blah, blah. What did you say?
If you'd ever like a personalized equity analysis on your home, and then fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Happy to help.
I like that.
Equity analysis instead of a CMA.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they don't, yeah.
Yeah.
Dahlia, email me. I will, in this case, You don't have a voice. You're already here. I don't want to, get a lozenge and try to get some rest. All right, everybody. 12:30, everyone come back. There's over 70 people here. There's no reason in the world that you all should not be at Live Prospect. All right. Always love in my heart. I love you all. Bye, everybody. I'll see you guys in 30
Thank
minutes.
you.
Bye.